My name is Jeanette DePatty, and today I'm going to be talking to you about talking in America. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned as a producer in Hollywood and how that can help you speak to anybody about anything, okay? First of all, I want to remind you that you can ask questions at any time. At some points I might say, well, we're going to cover that in a minute, but I want to hear your questions as soon as you think of them. So don't hold on to them. Don't wait till the end, because we're going to have a packed night. So whenever you have a question, you just raise your hand and we'll do what we can to get to it. As Judy says, this is my bullet point. Best-selling author, internationally recognized speaker, serial entrepreneur who's worked with several software companies. I have a patent pending right now. And I'm a producer in the National Board of the Producers Guild of America. Okay, that's the bullet point. Well, one of the things that we learn as producers is that we don't speak in bullet points. We speak in stories. So at this moment, I'm going to tell you a little story about me that I think will help you understand me better. So there's all my fabulous shots. There's me with Katie Couric. There's me just this last weekend at the Lean Startup Conference in San Francisco and rocking the red carpet. But who am I? Right? You heard an introduction that was, I'm sure, very confusing to you because I am all over the place. So let me give you a narrative to hang that on. I started with a master's degree in opera performance. That's why I can speak very loud when I want to. And I enjoyed getting that degree very much. There was just one problem. I learned that I liked to eat every day, not just once in a while. And being an opera singer in America does not pay very well. So luckily for me, before I finished my degree, I met a guy named Brian. And he was starting a software company with 2 other guys named Brian. It was me and 3 guys named Brian. I'm not making this up. So this is not them, by the way. This is clip art. They're cute, but not quite that cute. So anyways, we started a software company. And at that time, I had to talk to some business guys because we were developing MPEG compression software. There's a small chance you know what that is now. In 1993, when we started that software company, there was 0 chance you knew what that was. Nobody knew what it was. So I had to sit with the investors and explain to them, this is what it is, this is what it does. So we were able to raise some venture capital and develop some software, and it was very successful. Just one problem. I married one of the Bryans. Now I'm Mrs. Bryan. Okay? And working with your spouse is not always super great. Okay, sometimes it's really hard to work with your husband, especially in a startup where you're working 18, 20 hours a day sometimes. So at that time I thought, well, I'll roll on out of this software company. I had been doing marketing and public relations, and I started my own public relations marketing firm called Propellerhead. So I put on my beanie, and I started doing that. These are some of the companies that I've worked with. And that was going really well, but then my husband Brian, developed another software product for the film industry. So he said, honey, I want to move to California. So I said, okay. And I thought, if I'm moving all the way across the country from the Midwest, I might as well start a new life. And so that's what I did. I always wanted to be in content creation, to make movies and make stories and make games. And so I decided to do that. So I came to California. When I got here, I had no connections, 0 job. It costs a lot of money to live here in California, so I was very motivated to find work. So my husband said, Jeanette, there's this thing called Digital Hollywood, and the tickets were very expensive. They were a few $100s. I didn't have a few $100s, so I just went. And one thing I learned is if you act like you own the place, people let you get away with almost anything. It's true. I had no badge. I had no credentials. I had a clipboard and a fast walk, right? And I looked like I knew what I was doing, and nobody bothered me. So not only did I go to the conference, I went to a session like this where there was a panel of 5 guys. And the 5 guys were up there talking, and I realized that they were in the DVD business, and that to be in the DVD business, you need to have 3 different kinds of skills. You need to know about technology, you need to know about marketing, and you need to be creative. Sound like anybody you know? So I went up to each of those guys and I said, you know what, this is what you need in your company, somebody with these 3 skills. And as it happens, I know someone with those 3 skills. And you really want to hire me, like right now. You may not know it, but you really want to hire me right now. In a week I had 3 interviews, and in 16 days I had a job with one of those 5 guys. Okay? Since then, I've worked as a producer, and I also have worked outside of that, giving back to the community, helping people exercise and feel good about themselves. And that's what my book is all about. And that's, there's some of the places that I've been interviewed, like she said. So, that's a little bit about me. Now, partly I do that to brag, so you know who I am, and so you can frame me in terms of my expertise as an authority. But partly I do that because I'm teaching you that when we talk in stories, people remember better, right? So when Judy gave the intro, that was great, but it didn't have a story, so it didn't hang as well in your brain. I also did that because I want to get across to you that in this culture, you have to toot your own horn. You guys know what that means? You need to brag about yourself because everybody else is going to. And if you're not putting out there what is special about you, what's unique about you, you're going to get left behind, and you're not going to get that mentorship, and you're not going to get that C-level position that you're looking for, okay?